Hey, good to see you. Welcome back to Hugs and Honey. Thanks for being here today. This morning I was watching a person that I frequently watch. His name is Malcolm MJ Harris. And I watch him on Facebook and YouTube. And he is a motivational speaker. He talks a lot about relationships and boundaries and how to kind of overcome certain aspects of relationships and how to do certain things. And I just think he's really fun. He's very charismatic. I just like the way he puts words together, and I like the advice that he gives. And he's really into kind of creating boundaries and self-love and kind of seeing through some of the things that people have a hard time discerning. So I really, really enjoy him, and I've been watching him for like a year and a half maybe now. And I've shared a few of his posts on Facebook because of what he says. Like I said, I really like it. And this last week, or I don't want to say this last week, today, or maybe it was yesterday, he posted a video talking about how it was like a really emotional video. And it was how he is depressed and how he is at an extremely low point in his life right now. He's been working a lot and just serving others and not taking care of himself enough. And just with everything with the pandemic and he was thinking that it would get better, and it has gotten better in certain ways, but people are still relying on him, and he kept putting himself off, like his needs and taking care of his body, taking care of his rest, taking care of his boundaries. And he had not been taking care of himself. And so he has gotten into this point where he is depressed and really, really low, like doesn't want to get out of bed, doesn't want to work, doesn't want to do anything. And he was talking about it this morning and just sharing how hard it is. And he was crying and you could just see that he had been struggling and that this struggle was real, and that this is someone who is generally there for other people, who motivates people, who supports other people, who is the voice of sort of clarity and compassion for a lot of people. And here he is sort of having his moment of vulnerability and weakness. We'll just say weakness in quotation marks, because being open and sharing what is happening with you when you're not in a position of strength is not a weakness. It's actually a strength if you are able to share that. And he was saying that he was just being quiet. He wasn't really telling people that he was feeling this way or sad or depressed. I'm not even sure he fully, completely understood what was happening. Sometimes it sneaks up on you and you don't even realize. And so he was saying that he went to dinner the other day and that someone asked him, it was a big group and it was kind of at a fancy restaurant, and someone asked him how he was. Like, hey, Malcolm, how are you? And he just burst out crying. Like when someone asked him how he was and he was able to like stop, and instead of pointing the flashlight, at everyone else and helping everyone else, he turned it toward himself and recognized that he was not doing okay. And he was just like bursting into tears. And he said he was super embarrassed at the beginning when he first started crying. And then he just realized and recognized that he needed his community. He needed the people at that table to know that he was sad and that he needed help, and that he just kind of like, it was a moment that caused him to see himself and where he was and where he had gotten and how he had gotten there. And he was really, really sad. And so what he decided to do was sort of mix up his environment, change his environment. He decided that he no longer wanted to be depressed, and that he was going to start doing things that served him and made him feel better. Things like say no to people when they ask you to do certain things that may not be in alignment with you, what you want to do, or might be inconvenient for you, or might be just a huge burden for you, or might just be a habit, like you're just always helping people, so you just say yes. And you're not paying attention to how you're feeling as a result of that. So he started to say no. He started to ask people to ask someone else to do things for them. And he decided to have to mix up his perspective, change his perspective. And he took a little trip. He ended up going to Hawaii, which he was able to do because he's very successful in his business and life. But he decided that when he was there, like this is 100% like rehabilitation for his spirit and his soul, was to leave his current circumstances and go somewhere else, to change his perspective, to change his environment, to change the way that he looks at the world and himself, and to not allow people to have such easy access to him and his energy. So he just decided to do that, and that he was no longer going to be able to live in this state of despair and depression and sadness. And it's just this heavy weight that you feel that can sneak up on you, that you weren't prepared for, you didn't know it was coming. Even people like him who are aware of these things, they know when they can happen. They have tools to prevent it or to help themselves out of it. And he just got really deep into it and didn't recognize it. So now he's using his tools to get himself out, which is starting to put up boundaries, starting to get clear on what you as an individual needs versus helping other people. Like when it's okay to help yourself first. Like on the airplane, they say, if there's an emergency, put your own mask on first and then help the others around you. Like you're going to be useless to other people if you cannot help yourself. That's just a very difficult lesson that many of us had to learn. I learned that with my kids when I had children, because you give, and then you forget to give something to yourself. And so it was a really powerful moment where he was sharing and how he was kind of digging himself out. And he was saying that his favorite part of every day, sorry, I'm going to grab myself a little cough drop because I have a little tickle in my throat. His favorite part of every day, fortunately, was talking to his YouTube community and to his tribe. That's my favorite moment of every day too, is this moment when I'm here with you guys, minus the coughing. So we get a lot of joy out of sharing and being with you. Sorry. And it just reminds me of myself in the last 2 days. 2 days ago, I posted a video that was talking about a angry text or just me being angry and being upset. And the whole rest of that day, I spent lying in bed trying to understand why it made me so angry. Because it's not about the situation. It's not about the person. It's about me. Why did I get so angry? What nerve was touched in this interaction that caused me to get so upset? And for me, that shows me where I need to heal myself, what I need to do still, the work I still need to do to heal myself so I won't get triggered so much in this circumstance. And then I talked yesterday about the moon and how the moon is representative of emotions. And sorry, there's like this light happening on my screen. I'm going to eat it. Can you guys see that too? Anyways, I don't know what that is. Maybe it's one of our angels with us today. But yeah, the moon yesterday, showing you the moonrise and recognizing that the moon has a lot of feminine energy, and it's related with water as well. Our tides and the oceans change according to the moon cycle, and women's biological monthly menses usually is tied to the moon, and water is tied to emotions. And so all of these things, like a full moon, can bring turbulence. It can bring focus on the things that we need to think about and work on in ourselves. I hope I'm not coming down with a little cold, but I do feel a little bit under the weather. Really sorry for the coughing, and I wish I edited these videos so that you guys wouldn't have to hear that. But we're real here on Hugs and Honey. So anyways, I just thought it was really interesting how I felt a little bit like I was a little bit depressed as well. So watching MJ talk about his scenario, his situation right now, and then me reflecting back on why I got really upset on Sunday, and then yesterday, the full moon, or almost full moon, maybe it's today, I think it's today, full moon, and the connection between our emotions and sort of our inner conflicts and things that get a light shined on them generally during the full moon cycle. So I just wanted to share this with you because I'm wondering, like, what is happening in your lives? Are you experiencing any of this? I would love to know. It just feels a little bit like a emotionally turbulent time. A little bit for me. It's unusual. I'm pretty usually way high up here and stay that way almost all the time. And I've always been like that. Fortunately, I feel really lucky like that. I'm predisposed to happiness, while others are predisposed to sadness. But even the happy people get sad, and even the sad people get happy. So we just need to recognize that we have a choice in this matter, that we can decide and choose where we want to take it and what we want to do. But I just wanted to remind you to take care of yourselves, to listen to yourselves. I wanted to encourage you to think about if there's any area in your life that you could be pulling back, that you could be reinforcing certain boundaries that are keeping you healthy. Boundaries are there to keep us healthy, not to keep other people out per se. It's just to keep our own internal ecosystem healthy. And so, just wanted to share with you that we all experience sadness, depression, loneliness, all of these yucky feelings that are so hard to just accept and to let be. It's like all you want to do is like push them away and like get through them. And we get impatient about that. But the longer we can allow them to just be, the easier they will flow through us. We won't be constricting in our bodies. The energy can pass through more easily if we just accept, if we don't offer resistance to it. When we offer resistance, it gets tight and constricts and can't flow through us as easily. So let's try to stay open. I'm encouraging you to just know that we are all human and that we all experience this variety of emotions. And if you're depressed right now, you're not alone. And just know that I'm here with you. And you can reach out to me anytime you want. Anytime. I will always respond to you, and I will always connect with you, and I will always help you. And please share this with your friends, because most of the time this type of thing is silent. Most of the time people are not running around with a banner or a flag waving it and saying, I'm depressed, or I feel awful, or I'm having really bad thoughts of maybe hurting myself or hurting someone else or whatever. Like, you are not alone, and let's not suffer in silence, okay? Because we need each other. We need to build our community, and we're here to support each other and to love each other. That's what I'm here to do. I see you, I hear you, I'm here for you, and I love you, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.